Well, hello, and welcome to ReginaldESQ. I'm Underhook, and this is my review of the Tier 2 German light tank, the Panzerkampfwagen 35T. So, is it any good? Well, I found it quite unremarkable.
So yeah, I found this to be a pretty average tank. It does have good view range and quite a few hit points. And I wasn't really able to take advantage of the great view range because my crew's not fully trained. So when you do see the gameplay later on, you can see my crew at the moment is 82% trained. So in the gameplay they'll be anywhere from 75 to 82% trained. So obviously my reload time, my view range, my accuracy of my gun, all that sort of thing will improve if you had 100% trained crew, so just bear that in mind when you watch the replay. And I think the view range would be a real advantage. You'll get extra experience, etc., because you'll be spotting tanks for other tanks, and you'll get extra points for that. So in that respect, it's probably pretty good. In most other ways, though, the tank is pretty average. The guns are pretty average. The armor's not really good. It's slow, and I'll go into that anyway. Let's have a look. It has 180 hit points, which is a lot for a Tier 2 tank. The T18, for example, has 120 hit points, so 180 is pretty good. Usually, though, when you see high number of hit points, generally means you're going to get shot or penetrated a lot. So not usually a good sign, but it can help this tank out. Weighing in at around 11 or 12 tons, not too bad, pretty heavy, does okay in a ram, although it's not fast. Its top speed is 35 kilometers an hour, which is actually pretty slow at Tier 2, especially for a tank that's not well armored. However, it does turn very well. It has 43 degrees a second track traverse, which is very fast. However, you need it because the gun turret traverse is terrible at 26 degrees a second. So turning your tracks and turret at the same time is necessary if you're being circled by a tank like a Panzer 1C, etc. I'll talk a little bit more about the armor in Tank Inspector. The gun depression on this gun is very good, it has 10 degrees of gun depression and 20 degrees of elevation, which is a tactic you can use because the turret armor is passable. It won't stop guns with high penetration, but some of the low penetration guns, it will bounce them. The hull won't, though. The turret will, so you can try and just pop over a hill and only expose the turret, use your best chance of survival, and the gun depression does help you with that. There are Tier 2 tanks with better gun depression, but 10 degrees is quite good for hill fighting. The camouflage rating of this tank is average. Nothing special, it's about average for its tier. What I might do now is just have a look at the guns. I'm not going to talk about the grind because it's only a Tier 2 and it's not really a grind on a Tier 2 tank. You pretty much can change guns after every couple of games or so. There's two guns that you might want to select from. This is the top, what we might call single fire gun, and this is the top autoloader gun. So I'll look at the single fire gun first. It's a 37mm gun, has a 26.09 rate of fire, which is quite good. That's a quite fast firing gun. The penetration on this gun is 42mm and it does 40 damage per shot. 42mm is quite good at Tier 2. It will penetrate most tanks without a problem. You will bounce some shots off Tier 3, although you will be able to penetrate them all. It's just a matter of you might have to get some different angles on it. Now this tank, being 35 kilometers an hour, isn't really able to outflank tanks very effectively, so sometimes you'll just have to hope you can hit a weak spot or just keep plastering with shots and hoping you can hit something, because 0.41 accuracy isn't really accurate enough to be picking out weak spots at long range. 1.7 second aiming time, though, is very, very good. Now in the gameplay you'll see the 0.41 accuracy. When my crew was 75% trained, it was a disaster. Once they hit 80% trained, the accuracy was acceptable. At 100% training at Tier 2, 0.41 is actually pretty good. Now with the autoloader gun, it's only a 20mm gun, has 10 shells in the magazine, which is quite good. 0.13 seconds to fire a shot, which means you'll fire all of your 10 shots in about 1.3 seconds. Takes 3.9, almost 4 seconds to reload, which is not too bad considering there's 10 shots in the magazine, but it is a bit of an issue, and I'll tell you why. You've got 39mm of penetration, which is a little less, and it does make a difference at tier 3, because at tier 3 a lot of tanks have 40mm of armor, so you find yourself unable to penetrate them even at close range, or frontally anyway. The other issue I have with this gun is it has 11 damage per shot. Why is that an issue? Well, you've got 10 shells in your magazine. Now, as I said before, the T18 has 120 hit points. So if you empty your entire magazine into the back of a T18, you won't have killed it. You'll have maximum, even if every shot penetrates, which it probably won't, you'll do 110 damage. Then you've got to wait 3.9 seconds for it to reload. That's pretty scary if you're out in the open in this tank. So you can't kill a tank with one clip. Any tank, not even tier 2. Whereas this gun here, the single shot gun, with 40 damage per shot, 3 shots from this gun will kill quite a few of the tier 2 tanks, including a T18, and you have a better chance of penetrating with it as well, and it's more accurate, etc, etc. So yeah. However, this gun is also worse accuracy, 0.45, which if your crew's not fully trained is a bit of a disaster, unless you're at close range. 1.6 second aiming time though is excellent. So I have a game with both guns for you, so you can have a look and see what you think. Let's jump into Tank Inspector. Before I do though, I'll just let you know I have a large repair kit, large first aid kit fitted. The reason I always have those fitted on my tanks, in case you don't know, if you're new to World Tanks, as well as repairing everything with one press of the button, the main reason I carry them is they give 10%, the repair kit improves the durability of your modules by 10%. So there's less chance of you, for example, having your gun knocked out or your tracks knocked out if you have a large repair kit fitted. And a large first aid kit does the same for your crew. It gives your crew 15% less chance of being injured. And also you can repair them. But on low tier tanks like this, I tend not to use large repair kits and large first aid kits because when I say use them, I don't actually activate them in game because it's a bit of a waste of money. They cost 20,000 credits normally. Small repair kit I keep so I can repair the odd thing, but the other one's really just there for their preventative function. Now I have a camouflage net and binoculars fitted. I would probably keep those on even if I wanted to keep this tank, because you have good view range, and having binoculars will increase that view range and help you gain extra experience from spotting people. If I was keeping the tank though, once I had it fully trained crew, I'd probably swap the toolbox for something else. Alright, let's have a look at Tank Inspector and some gameplay. The Panzer 35T in Tank Inspector. So if looking at the frontal armour here, the entire front, lower and upper plates is 25mm thick. Not really going to stop much, although there are a few, I think actually, I think the T7 combat car has now been buffed. It used to have only 23mm of penetration, in which case you would have been safe in this, but I think now they've been up to about 29mm of penetration. So pretty much any tank, any tier 2 tank in the game can easily penetrate the front of this tank. Tier 1s, you might bounce some tier 1 tanks with the frontal hull armour, but basically don't rely on it. It's pretty much tissue paper. The side of the hull is also really poor at 16mm, as is the rear of the tank, and the upper rear of the tank is only 12mm. The upper deck and top of the turret of the tank is only 8mm, so not very good there. The turret though is not too bad. We've got 35mm of frontal armour there, so those T7 combat cars I mentioned and Panzer 1Cs, those sort of things, those autocannons, most of those will bounce off your turret. Even the area here around the gun, the mantlet area, is also 35mm. There is a weak spot here of only 20mm, little viewport there. The cupola is thankfully also 35mm, so it's not a weak spot on this tank. So from that point of view, if you can get this thing hull down, maximise your 10 degrees of gun depression and only expose your turret, at tier 2 you'll bounce a fair few shots. At tier 3 most tanks can easily punch a hole through it. In fact, this tank can punch a hole through its own armour, so if you're facing another one of your own tanks, don't rely on your turret armour. The side of and back of the turret is only 16mm, so not much use there. That's about it. Don't get caught in the open because you will have holes punched in you. This is the kind of, and it doesn't have speed either, this tank, so really you want to be, I believe, in cover and shooting from cover using your view range. The map is mines, and fortunately for us, it's a tier 2 game. I have the Autoloader gun fitted. Pretty sure my crew isn't very well trained at this stage. They're probably about 77% or something like that. So obviously Autoloader will perform better with a fully trained crew. I'm going to assist in taking the centre. I'm too slow to actually get up to the centre quickly enough, so I'm just hoping I can offer some support to the T7 combat car, etc. and the Panzer IIs there that are trying to get to the centre. If you're new to World of Tanks, on this map holding the centre is very, very important because you can rain death down upon your enemies from the centre. So moving into position, I'm seeing if I'm going to get this T2 here. I'm loading, aiming. Now the aim time would be faster on a fully trained crew. How I avoided hitting my teammate there, I have no idea. I think I actually just peppered my gun a little bit. I was very lucky there that my teammates helped out shooting at the T7 combat car because I was pretty much, my clip was pretty much emptied. And yeah, I would have been in trouble because his shots would have been penetrating me. I did get hit by an MS1. He did pretty good damage to me, 49 damage. He's actually spamming gold. He shot me with a gold round. Oh, he's a tier 1, so okay. I don't mind too much for tier 1 shooting gold at me. I suppose that's fair enough. And he's staying in that position, so I have to be careful not to get hit by him. I'm getting hit there, I'm getting hit, get out of there. So you can see some of those shots I think were probably hitting my turret as I backed away from the Panzer II there, and they did bounce. So you have to be very careful not to expose myself to that MS there. He is firing gold, so he will pen me. Got a couple of shots in there to that Panzer. We're getting hit, but we are blocking the shots from these Panzer IIs. Pretty sure because of that gap in the rock, it's protecting my hull, and they are hitting my turret. So a bit of maneuvering here. I'm in a bit of a risky spot. I took a couple of hits there, which did pen. He would have hit my hull there. And I couldn't return fire. I thought I'd be able to, but I couldn't. So I've only got 61 hit points left. I'm quite concerned now that I've got 3 tanks still on me. If this guy dies, I'm in big trouble. Okay, we've got some shots here. And you can see I bounced all of those shots, so I reckon with a single shot gun we would have penned him, but the autoloader doesn't quite have enough to penetrate his angled hull. He was angling quite well though, thickening his armour by... The thing is at this tier, even if you thicken your armour by a couple of mils by angling, because it doesn't do much with thin armour, it can be enough against a gun with low pen to actually stop them. So now, fortunately, my teammates are really helping out in this game. The guys behind us are doing a good job and helping us out. Unfortunately, my teammate just there died in a really bad position. I can't use this gap in the rocks to shoot anymore because he's basically died where I would need to be to shoot from. And I don't want to really go around the rock because I'm going to be exposing myself, or I'll probably have to expose the side of my tank to fire, which I don't want to do. This guy's moving up, which makes me think he's going to try and come around. If he does come around, actually, I'll be pretty happy because those dead tanks there are providing pretty good cover. Now he's coming around this side, which is a bit of a worry. I'm going to see if I can hit him as he comes around, but oh! It looks like there must be a T-18 on the hill. He just hit me for 45, which is not good. Thankfully, he's firing AP rounds and not HE. If he hit me with a HE round, I'd be dead right now. My thin armour would have just not stopped the HE round. And how's that for backup from my teammates? They managed to take out the 2 tanks that are trying to come around on me. Fantastic support. You don't see that very much in a tier 2 game. Not sure if they're there just to support me, but they did support me anyway, whether they were trying to do that or not, and helped me out a heck of a lot. So 16 hit points, but I'm still alive. We're still in the game, folks. Wasn't really a great spot to be in this tank. That position I was in, not an ideal location. Really want to be behind bushes, but in this particular game I just wanted to help the team take the centre. And we have now finally got the centre. So the center now enables you to do things like this: come up here and spot and just see if the enemy there. I'm in a bush. If I do spot them, I can shoot on them. Shoot on them? Did I say something bad then? I can shoot on them, whatever that means, and then back up onto the hill and be completely safe from return fire. Also enables you to do what the MS1 is trying to do there and try and spot people who are on the hill. With my excellent view range, I can probably spot them on the hill. The only thing is my crew's not fully trained, so my view range won't really be at its maximum. Being very careful there about driving up, because tanks can still spot you, I believe, for 1 or 2 seconds after they die, so you have to be a little bit careful. Now, my binoculars have just kicked in, but I don't think that was me that spotted this MS1. I think it was that Panzer II that went behind it. And we are able to actually kill that tank with one clip. All the shots penetrated, and I believe that's because it's a tier 1 tank. I was saying before about, the autoloader's not enough to kill a tank with one go, but with the autoloader, it looks like our artillery just took out that T-18, but I wasn't paying attention during the actual game, and I didn't realise that it had been taken out, and I was still waiting for it to appear. But Lloyd gun carrier, see there, my gun wouldn't aim, so I ended up just firing. Every now and then it happens. I don't know if it happens to you in water tanks. Every now and then it happens where the gun doesn't aim when you zoom in. It just locks there. The best way to do it now, I've found, to overcome that, is just to fire the gun, and then it will start aiming. So that was a class 1 badge in that tank, and I think largely due to the spotting damage we were getting for being sort of close and spotting everyone up there. Let's have a look at the next screen, and we finished second for XP on our team. The Panzer II, or one of the Panzer IIs, had a great game and finished on top there. So we fired 70 shots, 38 of those shots hit, so not great accuracy, and 27 of the 38 penetrated, which is actually pretty good penetration. But bear in mind, it was a tier 2 game. In a tier 3 game, wouldn't fare so well. We did 300 damage. We received 21 hits, and only 9 of those penetrated. So at tier 2, actually, our turret held up pretty well. Although, remember, some of the tanks shooting at us were tier 1. But the Panzer IIs, it seems to block Panzer II shells quite well, the turret. Splash damage too, so he must have been fired at by artillery a couple of times as well. I didn't notice that during the game. Damage blocked by armor 76. Enemy spotted 2, we damaged 4 tanks, destroying 2, and we got 195 assistance damage, which is not bad at tier 2. That helps a little bit. As you can see, expenses are very low. The ammunition is almost free, and the repair costs are very low, as you expect with tier 2, so it's quite a profitable tank. Let's have a look now with the single shotgun. Action replay. Once again, we're on mines, and it's a tier 2 game, but this time I have the single shot gun fitted with 42 penetration and 40 damage, average damage per shot. And my crew is better trained. The crew is now around about 81%, something like that. And this gun started to come good at around 80%, so you can see the accuracy is not bad for an 80% trained crew. Now, in this game, though, I missed that guy. Let's get him this time. We get one in, and I think the guy next to me finished him off. We actually, I have done more damage with this gun than I do in this game, but it was on Province, and the Province map just turns into a snipe fest, especially when you don't have much armor, and it was exceedingly boring games, so I prefer to show you this one. It's a little bit more interesting. Now, fortunately, the guy on my left is shooting this guy, and I can't get shots into him because he's not coming any further. But I can get this Cruiser 3 up here, who is staying still. When you're in tier 2, low tier games, if you get hit, move. Straight away move. Don't sit there, because not only will you get shot multiple times by the same tank, remember tanks load very quickly at this tier, but you will also expose yourself to other tanks. Everyone will turn their guns on you, and all have quick aiming time at this tier. So once you get hit, you've got to move straight away. Oh, he just got through there. And the Tetrarch's gone. Tetrarch really shouldn't go anywhere near the front lines. It has absolutely no armor. And we managed to get still the kill on that one. So you can see, not bad accuracy considering the crew's, like I said, about 81% trained. With 100% trained crew, I think this gun would feel, for its tier, very accurate. So I decide now, look, we're winning, more than half of their team is dead, and we've only lost 4 tanks, so I figure time to move forward now. Nothing else is going to come over that hill because there's going to be too much pressure from our tanks to do anything. The only risk I face at the moment is that there is somebody else just up here on the left in front of me that is hiding in the bushes, but I don't think so. So I decide to move forward. You can see here the relative speed of the tank. It does do the advertised 35 kilometers an hour, and will go a little faster downhill, if you see there, but it's certainly not a fast tank. It does turn really well though. If you turn on the spot on this tank, it turns really quick. We just lost another tank, but they only have 4 tanks remaining, although 2 of them are T-18s. I certainly don't want to get hit by them. Looks like someone spotted some artillery there. Now, can we aim in time? Good, he's come back into view just in time. Our blind fire hit. We get a second shot in him, but somebody steals our kill. T7 combat car looks like he's AFK. Oh, there's a replay bug. There you go. I am actually pointing at him, and we get the kill there. And there we go. End of the game, I think. So only a class 2 in that game, but the game went so quickly, didn't really have a chance to do much. We didn't take any shots, so that's always good. We finished, what, 5th or something like that, which is not too bad. We fired 16 shots, 11 of those shots hit. Of the 11 that hit, 10 penetrated. So you can see the penetration is very good with this gun. I think if you had 100% trained crew, you know, it would speed up your aiming time as well as your accuracy. The results would be even better. So I like this gun, and at tier 3 this gun still does fairly well. Damage of 337, most of it was long range shooting. We spotted 1, damage 5, destroying 2, tiny bit of spotting damage, probably right at the end there. And that's about it. As you can see, once again, profit margin in this tank is very good. That's it. Thank you for watching my review of the Panzer 35T. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more reviews, please subscribe to ReginaldESQ. Have fun.